4 signs your life is about to change for the better. Life doesn't always announce its turning points with fireworks or loud warnings. More often, change begins quietly, hidden beneath struggles, discomfort, or subtle shifts in your perspective. The Stoics understood that life constantly moves in cycles, and every hardship, every test, carries within it the seed of transformation. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the very obstacles we fear are often the signs that our lives are about to change for the better. So let's uncover 4 powerful signs that your life is on the edge of transformation, and why you should embrace them with strength and wisdom. 1. Restlessness and dissatisfaction take over your mind. Have you ever felt uneasy, even when everything around you looks fine? You have the job, the friends, the routine, but something inside tells you, this can't be it. That's not failure, that's growth knocking at your door. Epictetus reminded us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Restlessness is the first step to transformation because it reveals that you've outgrown your current life. Just like a snake sheds its skin when it becomes too tight, your soul sheds its old identity when it craves expansion. What feels like boredom or dissatisfaction is actually a sign you're ready to rise to the next level. Instead of fighting it, listen to it. That discomfort is guiding you toward your true purpose. 2. Old relationships, habits, and environments begin to fall away. One of the most painful signs of transformation is loss. You might notice friendships fading, relationships breaking apart, or certain habits suddenly feeling empty. At first, you resist it because we cling to the familiar. But the Stoics teach us that letting go is part of becoming who we must be. Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving." When your life is about to change for the better, the universe often clears away what no longer serves you. People who hold you back, toxic environments, even your own self-destructive patterns, they begin to crumble because they cannot follow you into your future. Yes, it hurts, but it's necessary. A tree cannot grow taller if it refuses to let go of its old leaves. If you're losing relationships or habits you once thought you needed, remember, it's not rejection, it's redirection. You are being aligned with something greater. 3. Life suddenly tests you with challenges and struggles. The Stoics believed adversity was a teacher. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that obstacles are not proof that your life is falling apart. They are proof that your life is being rebuilt. When you're about to transform, you'll face resistance. Financial struggles, emotional pain, setbacks in your career. These are not punishments, they are training. Life is preparing you to carry the weight of the blessings you've been asking for. Think of a blacksmith forging steel. The fire that seems to destroy the metal is the very thing that makes it unbreakable. In the same way, the hardships you face are tempering your character. So when struggles arrive, don't ask, "Why me?" Instead, ask, "What is this shaping me into?" Because challenges are the final test before your life shifts into something greater. 4. You feel a powerful pull toward growth and purpose. The most undeniable sign of transformation is an inner calling. You may not know exactly where it leads, but you feel drawn toward wisdom, toward self-discipline, toward a higher version of yourself. Epictetus told us, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." When you start seeking meaning over pleasure, wisdom over comfort, and purpose over distraction, it means you are already stepping into a new life. This pull is not random. It is your future calling you forward. The Stoics believed that living with purpose is the highest form of freedom. And when your soul craves purpose, it means you've outgrown the shallow life you once lived. That hunger is proof that you are moving into alignment with who you truly are. So if you feel restless, if old connections are falling away, if life seems to test you at every turn, and if you're feeling the pull toward growth, don't ignore it. These are not coincidences. These are the clear signs your life is about to change for the better. Change often feels uncomfortable, even painful. But remember, the pain you feel today is not the end of your story, it's the labor of your rebirth. Here on Stoic True Wisdom, we remind you that the universe is always moving, always reshaping, always guiding. The question is not whether your life will change. The question is whether you will embrace that change with courage and discipline. Stand firm in the fact. Emotional strength isn't about showing no feelings or pretending to be invulnerable. True emotional resilience comes from mastery over yourself, your thoughts, your reactions, and your inner world. It's about standing unshaken in the face of life's challenges. Today, we're going to explore 4 daily habits that cultivate emotional strength, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." These habits aren't quick fixes. They are daily practices that, when followed consistently, build inner fortitude, clarity, and calm, a foundation no one can shake. Habit 1. The first habit is morning reflection or journaling. Start your day by contemplating your values, your intentions, and your priorities. Seneca advised, every night before you go to sleep, ask yourself, what weakness did I overcome today? What virtue did I practice? Spend 10-15 minutes in silence, writing or thinking about what matters most. Reflect on potential challenges and how you can respond with patience, discipline, and wisdom. This prepares your mind to face the day with emotional stability. By focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, you strengthen yourself from the inside out. Habit 2. Practice emotional observation. The second habit is emotional observation. Stoics teach us to observe our emotions without being enslaved by them. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment." Throughout the day, pause and notice your emotional reactions. When frustration, anger, or anxiety arises, take a breath and step back. Ask yourself, is this within my control? Am I reacting from reason or from impulse? By consistently practicing this, you build emotional resilience. You learn that no external circumstance can dictate your inner peace. Habit 3. Physical discipline and mind-body awareness. The third habit is physical discipline and mind-body awareness. Emotional strength is deeply connected to how you care for your body. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Daily exercise, maintaining proper posture, controlled breathing, and mindful movement are all practices that reinforce mental toughness. When you push yourself physically, when you endure discomfort willingly, you train your mind to remain calm in difficult situations. Strengthening the body strengthens the mind. This is not about vanity. It's about cultivating resilience, presence, and control. Habit 4. Evening reflection and gratitude. The fourth habit is evening reflection and gratitude. At the end of the day, review your actions, thoughts, and responses. Ask yourself, did I act according to my values? Did I respond with wisdom? Practice gratitude, not as a superficial exercise, but as a recognition of the good in your life, even in hardship. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Daily reflection reinforces self-awareness, humility, and emotional balance. It allows you to learn from mistakes without guilt and to appreciate life without attachment. These 4 habits, morning reflection, emotional observation, physical discipline, and evening reflection, form the foundation of emotional strength. They are simple yet profound. Practiced consistently, they cultivate resilience, clarity, and inner peace. Emotional strength isn't born from avoiding challenges. It comes from facing life with calm, discipline, and presence. As you adopt these daily habits, remember, your emotional state is your own responsibility. No one can take it from you unless you allow it. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to Stoic True Wisdom, practice these habits, and embrace the power of emotional mastery. Your inner fortress begins with small, deliberate daily steps. If I told you that the anxiety you're feeling right now, the confusion, the sudden urge to walk away from people, places, and habits is not a breakdown. It's the first sign that your life is about to transform. Most people miss it, they numb it, they run from it. But the Stoics knew the path to power begins in discomfort. Before you rise, you feel like you're falling. Before everything gets better, it gets painfully quiet. In this video, you'll discover 4 powerful signs that your old life is dying and your true self is finally waking up. Because if you're noticing these shifts, you're not behind, you're right on time. This is Stoic True Wisdom, and what comes next will change everything. Sign 1. You no longer tolerate the things you once accepted. You start noticing the conversations that drain you, the people who disrespect you, the habits that keep you small, and suddenly, you can't pretend it's okay anymore. That's not arrogance, that's clarity. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When your mind evolves, your tolerance dissolves. You stop negotiating with your own peace. You stop shrinking to fit into places that don't value your growth. This discomfort isn't bitterness, it's awareness. You're waking up. And that's the first sign you're stepping into a higher version of yourself. Sign 2. You feel more alone but less lonely. People drift, conversations grow quiet, and the invitations stop coming. But something feels different. Instead of chasing connection, you begin to cherish solitude. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. You're no longer afraid of being misunderstood. You're not performing anymore. And in that silence, you meet the only person you truly need to know, yourself. When the noise disappears, your inner voice becomes louder. And in that voice, you find direction, peace, and presence. This isn't loneliness. It's liberation. Sign 3. You question everything, even yourself. Suddenly, you're no longer sure who you are. Your beliefs, your past choices, your identity, all of it comes into question. This feels terrifying, but it's actually a deep spiritual shift. Seneca said, "Begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life." Questioning doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're ready to stop living on autopilot. You're shedding identities that were never truly yours and making room for who you're meant to become. This discomfort is not confusion. It's the fertile soil of transformation. Sign 4. You're attracted to peace more than excitement. What used to excite you, drama, chaos, attention, now exhausts you. You crave stillness, routine, calm. Not because you're bored, but because you're becoming anchored. Marcus Aurelius said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." This shift in values is the most silent yet most powerful sign of growth, because when peace becomes your priority, nothing outside of you has power over you anymore. You are no longer ruled by the world, you are ruled by your own soul, and that is the beginning of true transformation. Transformation doesn't arrive with a bang, it creeps in the discomfort, in the silence, in the moments where everything familiar fades. If you're noticing these signs, it means your old self is dissolving, and something stronger, wiser, and more grounded is being born. So don't resist it, don't fear it. Let it reshape you, because you're not lost, you're awakening, and the best version of you is closer than you think. This is Stoic true wisdom, where we don't chase peace, we become it. 4 questions liars always use to trap you. Don't answer them. Most people don't realize this. Liars don't expose themselves by what they say. They expose themselves by the questions they ask. A liar doesn't attack you directly. They pull you into a mental trap. Slowly, quietly, strategically. And once you answer their question, you've already given them the power they need. Today, I'm going to show you 4 questions liars always use to control you, manipulate you, or turn your words against you. And once you learn these, no one will ever be able to play you again. This is Stoic true wisdom. And today, I'm handing you the shield Marcus Aurelius spoke of. The best defense is an unshakable mind. Let's begin. 1. Why would you think that? The deflection trap. Liars use this question when they're caught. Not to explain themselves, but to make you feel guilty for noticing the truth. Instead of answering your concern, they shift the burden back on you. It is a psychological trick. They want you to doubt your instincts. They want you to feel irrational, emotional, or paranoid. But Marcus Aurelius warned us. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. A person who is honest will answer directly. Only a liar hides behind questions like this. When they ask you, why would you think that? They're not seeking clarity. They're seeking control. The Stoic response: stay firm. State the facts. Do not let them twist the narrative. Because the moment you doubt yourself, they win. 2. Who told you that? The information extraction trap. This question is never innocent. A liar asks this to figure out who exposed them, who they need to manipulate next, how much you really know. It's not curiosity. It's strategy. Epictetus taught, if someone tries to stir conflict, remain silent and observe. A Stoic does not reveal sources. A Stoic does not expose loyal people. A Stoic does not play into manipulation. If someone asks, who told you that? They want to shift their anger onto another person, instead of facing the truth they created. The wise answer: that doesn't matter, I'm asking about your actions. This keeps you in control, and it keeps them exposed. 3. Do you really want to ruin this? The guilt manipulation trap. This question attacks your emotions. Liars know you care about the relationship, and they weaponize that care. They twist the situation so that you feel responsible for the chaos they created. Seneca warned us about people like this. The one who harms you is not in control, your reaction is. When a liar says, do you really want to ruin this? What they're really saying is, don't hold me accountable. Don't expose what I've done. Stay quiet so I can keep benefiting. But a Stoic never protects dishonesty. A Stoic protects truth. Anyone who uses guilt to escape responsibility is someone you must distance yourself from. 4. Can't we just forget about this? The avoidance trap. This is the final phase. When a liar realizes they can't manipulate you, they pretend to be peaceful. They pretend to be calm. They pretend they want harmony. But this question is not peace. It is avoidance. It means, I don't want to admit what I did. I don't want the consequences. I want you to move on while I remain unchanged. Marcus Aurelius taught that true peace comes from inner honesty, not from covering up mistakes. Anyone who says, can't we just forget about this, is telling you they will do it again. Because people who don't confront their flaws Repeat them. Do not forget. Do not ignore. Do not allow someone's comfort to be more important than your truth. Remember this. Liars don't trap you with lies. They trap you with questions designed to control your mind. But once you recognize the pattern, their power collapses. A Stoic is not easily fooled. A Stoic sees through the fog of manipulation. A Stoic remains calm, steady, and unshakable. If you learned something powerful today, carry it with you. And I'll see you in the next video, here on Stoic True Wisdom. Have you ever been disrespected so deeply it stayed with you for days, not because it was true, but because you didn't know how to respond with power instead of pain? Today, we're unlocking 4 Stoic ways to handle disrespect, not by reacting, but by becoming untouchable. Because when you master your mind, no insult can break you. There are moments in life when others will try to cut you down with words. Their disrespect might come suddenly, like a knife aimed at your dignity. The temptation is to strike back, to defend your name and restore your pride. But Stoicism teaches something radically different. Disrespect only has power if you give it attention. At Stoic True Wisdom, we don't fight fire with fire. We master ourselves and let the flames pass by untouched. Here are 4 Stoic ways to handle disrespect, not with ego but with wisdom and calm power. 1. Disrespect reflects them, not you. When someone disrespects you, they're showing the world who they are, not who you are. Their anger, their bitterness, their attempt to hurt you, it's a window into their chaos, not your character. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Insults don't define you, they expose them. So when someone mocks you or looks down on you, pause. Don't absorb it, don't personalize it, just observe. The Stoic doesn't respond with equal venom. We rise above, not because we're weak, but because we understand the source. And when you understand, you become untouchable. 2. Control what you can. Your response, you can't control their words. You can't control their tone. But what you can control, what no one can take from you, is your response. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. In the face of disrespect, you are given a test. Will you react with fury or respond with clarity? A Stoic chooses to respond with intention. We don't act on impulse. We reflect, then respond with control. This isn't weakness. It's the highest form of strength. When your ego screams to lash out, choose stillness. Let the insult pass through you without leaving a mark. 3. You are above the need for validation. Disrespect often comes from someone trying to lower your worth in their eyes, to make you feel small. But here's the truth. Validation is a trap. Seneca said, "A good man is neither elated by praise nor cast down by blame." When you no longer seek validation, you become immune to disrespect. You don't need their approval. You already know who you are. And that knowledge, that inner certainty, becomes your shield. This is the power of a Stoic, rooted in virtue, unshaken by noise, indifferent to praise or blame. 4. Ask, what does this say about them, not me? When someone disrespects you, pause and ask, what does this reveal about them? Because often, disrespect is projection. A person battling themselves throws their pain onto others. Seneca reminds us, a wise man is indifferent to that which he cannot control. So when someone mocks, insults, or belittles, remember, you don't need to respond to every bark. You don't need to throw stones at every dog that snarls. You walk on, and you walk higher. Disrespect will find you. But how you respond, that's your legacy. That's your discipline. That's your freedom. The Stoic doesn't just survive the insult, he transcends it. If today's wisdom spoke to something deeper in you, subscribe to Stoic True Wisdom, where ancient philosophy meets the modern warrior's soul. This is your path to mastery, and your journey starts now. 4 Stoic rules to stay unbothered around hurtful people. There will always be people who test your patience. People who try to provoke you, disrespect you, or make you feel small. And when that happens, most people react, they argue, defend, or explode. But not the Stoic man. Not the man who has mastered himself. Because he understands one truth. Your peace is your power. And once you let someone disturb it, they own you. In this video, I'll share 4 Stoic rules that will help you stay calm, unbothered, and in complete control when dealing with hurtful people, so that no one ever has the power to shake your peace again. Rule 1. Never take anything personally. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been." Most people allow others to control their emotions because they take everything personally. Someone insults them, and they instantly react: anger, sadness, frustration. But a Stoic knows this. What others say about you is only a reflection of them, not you. If someone is cruel, it's because they are suffering internally. If someone mocks you, it's because they feel powerless. And when you understand this, their words lose all weight. A wise man doesn't absorb poison, he observes it. So when someone tries to hurt you with words, remember this Stoic truth. Their words can't touch you unless you hand them the power to. Rule 2. Control your reaction, not their behavior. Epictetus taught, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." You can't control other people. You can't stop them from being rude, selfish, or deceitful. But you can control your reaction, and that's where your strength lies. The weak man tries to control the world. The strong man masters himself. When you remain calm in front of someone who's trying to hurt you, you're silently showing dominance. You're proving that their behavior has no control over your state of mind. The moment you react with anger or ego, you fall into their trap. But when you respond with calm detachment, you rise above them, and that's what Stoicism is all about. Rising above what is beneath you. Stay calm. Stay composed. Because your peace will always offend those who live in chaos. Rule 3. Detach from the need to be understood. Seneca once said, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." But sometimes, the real remedy is detachment. You must let go of the need to explain yourself, to prove your goodness, to make others understand your intentions. Because the truth is, hurtful people don't want to understand you. They want to drain your peace. They want you emotional, reactive, and defensive, because that's when they feel powerful. So stop explaining, stop proving. You owe no explanation for your peace, your silence, or your healing. A Stoic knows, peace doesn't come from being understood, it comes from understanding yourself. Once you know who you are, you no longer need validation from those who misunderstand you. Be so grounded that their confusion no longer disturbs your clarity. Rule 4. Master the art of silent power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." There is great strength in silence. When someone tries to provoke you, silence shows that they are powerless to disturb you. Don't try to prove them wrong, let your peace do it. Don't argue, let your actions speak. Don't react, let time reveal everything. The Stoic man knows that silence is not weakness, it's strategy. It's the ability to remain composed when others lose control. Because silence protects your energy, guards your dignity, and builds your inner power. It keeps your enemies guessing and your mind clear. When you no longer respond emotionally, you've reached a level of intelligence most people can't touch. Being unbothered doesn't mean you're emotionless. It means you've learned to master your emotions instead of being mastered by them. It means you've realized that nothing external, no insult, no betrayal, no rejection can disturb the fortress of peace you've built inside. That's the essence of Stoicism. Not escaping life, but rising above it. So protect your peace. Move with silence. And remember, the calmest man in the room is always the most powerful. This is Stoic true wisdom, where you learn to master your mind, your emotions, and your destiny. 4 silent habits of people who can't be manipulated. In life, some people will always try to control you. They'll test your patience, play on your emotions, and manipulate situations to bend you to their will. Sometimes it's subtle, a comment, a gesture, a look. Sometimes it's bold and blatant. But there are people who are untouchable, people who cannot be manipulated, not because they fight, argue, or retaliate, but because they possess an inner fortress, a silent strength that cannot be shaken. Today, I want to show you 4 silent habits of people who cannot be manipulated, grounded in Stoic philosophy. These are habits that cultivate unshakable composure, emotional independence, and true inner power. If you adopt them, no one can pull the strings of your mind or your life. 1. They control their attention, not just their actions. The first habit is subtle but incredibly powerful. They choose where to place their attention. Epictetus taught, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Manipulators rely on distraction. They want your focus on their drama, their provocation, their chaos. The untouchable person sees this clearly. They do not react impulsively. They filter what deserves their energy and what does not. Silence becomes their shield. Think about it like this. In a conversation, someone tries to provoke you. They expect an immediate reaction, an emotional outburst. But instead of reacting, you observe, breathe, and redirect your attention to what truly matters. That control over your attention is invisible to most, but it is the cornerstone of power. When people realize they cannot hijack your focus, manipulation loses its grip, and they regret ever trying. 2. They speak only when it serves them. The second habit is careful, deliberate speech. Marcus Aurelius said, "Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it." People who cannot be manipulated do not react to every comment, insult, or gossip. They do not give their energy to petty conflicts. Their words are few but precise. Their silence is intentional and full of authority. Think about the modern world. A coworker tries to push you into an argument. You could fight, raise your voice, or defend yourself. But instead, you speak calmly, or not at all. That silence is powerful. It signals confidence, boundaries, and unshakable control. The manipulator expects chaos, and when they meet calm, they are confused, frustrated, and ultimately regret their attempt. 3. They maintain emotional independence. The third habit is emotional self-reliance. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Manipulation thrives on dependency, on fear, insecurity, or need for validation. People who cannot be manipulated are emotionally autonomous. They cultivate inner calm and self-sufficiency. Criticism, flattery, or threats do not affect them. Their reactions are based on reason, not emotion. In practical terms, this looks like refusing to seek approval from others, making decisions based on principles rather than fear, and remaining composed even in heated situations. By controlling their inner world, they make manipulation attempts irrelevant. When someone tries to provoke guilt, shame, or insecurity, it falls on deaf ears. Their calmness and self-mastery leave manipulators frustrated and regretful. 4. They observe before reacting. The fourth habit, they observe carefully before taking action. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." People who are untouchable do not react impulsively. They watch, they analyze, and they decide on deliberate action. Manipulators thrive on quick emotional reactions, but the untouchable person sees through this. They understand motives, assess the situation, and respond strategically, or sometimes not at all. In daily life, this could be as simple as pausing before responding to an angry email, listening fully in a tense discussion, or observing someone's behavior before trusting or engaging. That patience and observation create an invisible barrier, one that no manipulator can cross. Their silence is a shield, their deliberate action is a sword, and manipulators eventually realize their efforts to influence have failed. The truth is, the world is full of people trying to bend you to their will, but the man or woman who cannot be manipulated does not need to shout. They do not need to prove themselves. They simply exist with quiet strength, calm observation, and unshakable composure. Imagine living like this. No panic at criticism, no desperation for approval, no wasted energy on trivial attempts to control or harm you. Every choice you make is deliberate, every action rooted in reason, every silence a testament to your inner mastery. This is the life of the modern Stoic, the life of someone untouchable, unshakable, and silently powerful. Start practicing these habits today. Control your attention, speak only when it serves you, maintain emotional independence, observe before reacting, and slowly but inevitably the world will respect you. People will regret trying to manipulate you, not because you fought back, but because you have mastered the one thing no one can take from you, yourself. Live with presence, live with discipline, live silently, but live powerfully. I'm your name, and this is Stoic True Wisdom. 3 smartest ways to deal with toxic people. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to drain your energy the moment they walk into your life? They complain, criticize, and manipulate, leaving you feeling powerless. But what if I told you that you can remain calm, unshaken, and even regain control without letting their negativity touch your soul? In this video, we'll explore 3 of the smartest Stoic strategies to deal with toxic people, so you never lose your peace of mind again. These methods were practiced by ancient philosophers like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca, and they are as powerful today as they were 2,000 years ago. Stay with me until the end, because number 3 will completely change the way you see toxic behavior forever. 1. Control the only thing you can, your mind. The first and most important Stoic principle is simple. You cannot control others, only your mind and your response. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you face a toxic person, your first instinct is to argue, defend, or prove them wrong. But what happens when you do that? You give them power over your emotions. The Stoic approach is this: detach yourself from the need to change them. Instead, ask, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let go. Their words, their anger, their manipulative tactics, they belong to them, not to you. Here's a practical way to apply this. When someone criticizes you unfairly, pause and breathe. Remind yourself, their opinion is not my reality. I control my mind. Visualize their words as arrows hitting a shield. Your mind is that shield, strong, unbreakable. When you master this, toxic people lose the ability to control you because you no longer react. You respond with wisdom and calm strength. 2. Set boundaries without guilt. Stoicism teaches us that we must protect our inner citadel, the fortress of our mind. And one of the best ways to do that in a modern world is by setting clear boundaries. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The tranquility of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." If someone constantly brings negativity, drama, or manipulation, you must ask, Is this helping my growth or harming my peace? Setting boundaries doesn't mean being rude or aggressive. It means being firm and clear. I won't discuss this topic. I need space right now. Or even silently distancing yourself without confrontation. Stoic tip: boundaries are not walls. They are gates that allow what is good and keep out what is harmful. You do not owe anyone unlimited access to your energy. Protect it like gold because your peace of mind is priceless. If you feel guilty about saying no, remember Seneca's words. No person hands out their money to passers-by, but to how many do we hand out our lives? Every time you allow a toxic person to invade your peace, you give away pieces of your life. 3. Practice the art of indifference. Become untouchable. This is the ultimate Stoic strategy, the one that makes toxic people powerless against you. It's called apatheia, the state of being emotionally unshaken. Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, lies, and envy from people around him, yet he wrote, "When someone does wrong, it is because they are ignorant of the good." Instead of hating toxic people, understand them. They act out of weakness, insecurity, and lack of wisdom. The moment you see this truth, their insults no longer sting because you realize it's not about you, it's about them. Here's how to practice this in real life. When someone tries to provoke you, imagine them as a sick person coughing negativity. You wouldn't hate a sick person. You just keep your distance and protect yourself. Respond with calm silence or a simple phrase like, "I see your point," then move on. Toxic people thrive on reactions. When you deny them that fuel, they lose control. You become like a mountain, unmoved by the storm. You can't remove all toxic people from the world, but you can make them powerless over your peace. Control your mind, set boundaries, and remain indifferent to their chaos. When you do this, you live like a true Stoic, calm, strong, and free. Have you ever had to deal with a toxic person? How did you handle it? Comment below. I'd love to hear your story. And if you found this helpful, subscribe to Stoic True Wisdom for more Stoic lessons to live with strength and serenity. 4 destructive habits that keep you weak. Weakness doesn't happen overnight. It builds quietly, slowly, silently, through the habits you repeat every single day. A man doesn't lose his strength because of one big mistake. He loses it through the small, invisible, self-destructive behaviors that chip away at his discipline, his purpose, and his masculinity. And if you want to rise, if you want to become unshakable, focused, and powerful, you must confront these 4 habits with brutal honesty. This is not a soft message. This is Stoic true wisdom, the path of self-mastery and inner steel. Let's begin. 1. The habit of emotional reactivity. The first destructive habit is being controlled by your emotions instead of controlling them. A weak man responds instantly. He gets angry quickly. He gets offended easily. He lets other people's words decide how he feels. A strong man does the opposite. He pauses. He breathes. He observes. He chooses his response. Epictetus said it clearly. You have power over your mind, not outside events. When you let anger, insecurity, or impulse guide your actions, you hand your power to the world. You let people manipulate you. You let circumstances control you. A Stoic warrior trains himself to respond with logic, not emotion. Silence becomes his weapon. Self-control becomes his shield. The less you react, the more powerful you become. 2. The habit of seeking constant comfort. This is the habit that destroys most men today. The obsession with comfort. Comfort feels good in the moment. but it slowly kills your discipline, your masculinity, your drive. Comfort is the warm poison that keeps you weak. A man who avoids discomfort becomes mentally soft, easily discouraged, afraid to take risks, addicted to easy pleasures. The Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort, cold exposure, hunger, physical strain, mental endurance, because they understood one truth. If you don't challenge yourself, life will challenge you harder. Comfort is the cage. Discipline is the key. A powerful man chooses the path that strengthens him, not the one that soothes him. 3. The habit of ignoring your inner voice. There is a voice inside you, quiet, strong, wise, that tells you who you can become. But most men drown that voice in noise. Scrolling, distractions, meaningless entertainment, empty people. A weak man runs from himself. He avoids silence because silence reveals the truth, that he is not living at his highest level. Marcus Aurelius warned us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Every man knows the life he should be living, but only a few have the courage to step into it. Ignoring your inner voice is the most subtle form of self-betrayal. A Stoic man listens. He reflects. He realigns his life with his principles. He chooses the path of purpose over the path of distraction. Strength begins the moment you face yourself honestly. 4. The habit of staying around weak-minded people. Nothing destroys a man faster than the people he surrounds himself with. Weak minds normalize complaining, gossip, jealousy, laziness, victim mentality. If the people around you don't push you to grow, they are pulling you down. A Stoic man chooses his circle with intention. He surrounds himself with strength. Men who speak truth, take responsibility, and chase excellence. Seneca said, associate with people who are likely to improve you. When you spend your life around people who settle for less, you start believing that less is enough. A man becomes who he surrounds himself with. Choose carefully. Cut ruthlessly. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. These 4 habits will quietly destroy your strength if you let them. Emotional reactivity. Love of comfort. Ignoring your inner voice. Staying around weak people. But here's the truth. Weakness is not permanent. It's a choice, and so is strength. Every day, you have the chance to become the man you were meant to be. A man of presence. A man of discipline. A man of wisdom. A man who cannot be shaken by the world. That is the path of Stoic true wisdom. The path of inner power. Choose it. 3 signs your karmic debt has been cleared. There comes a time in your life when the weight you've been carrying suddenly feels lighter, not because the world changed, but because something within you did. You no longer feel punished by the past. You no longer feel chained to your mistakes. And you begin to notice something strange. You're no longer repeating the same lessons, because now you've learned them. In Stoic philosophy, we don't speak of karma the way the East does, but we understand deeply that every action has a consequence. Every decision echoes. And every lesson you avoid returns. But when you've finally paid your dues, when your karmic debt has been cleared, the universe doesn't send you a receipt, it sends you signs. Here are 3 signs your karmic debt is being lifted, and that you're finally walking in alignment with truth. 1. You no longer react from pain, you respond with wisdom. The first and most powerful sign. You don't repeat the cycle anymore. Where you once reacted in anger, you now pause. Where you once chased people to be understood, you now let silence speak for you. And where you once felt like a victim of your past, now you feel like a guardian of your present. You've broken the loop. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." When your karmic debt is paid, you don't become who hurt you. You don't mirror the pain. You transcend it, and that's how you know. You're no longer feeding the wheel of cause and effect with resentment. You're walking above it with understanding. That is not weakness. That is elevation. That is mastery. 2. The same tests no longer tempt you. The second sign is subtle but profound. You're no longer tempted by the very things that once destroyed you. That relationship pattern, you now see it from a distance, and you walk away. That need to prove yourself, it no longer owns you. The approval you used to chase now feels irrelevant. Epictetus warned, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. And now you do. You've finally learned to protect your peace, not your pride, to guard your energy, not your ego. You're no longer attracted to chaos. You're no longer drawn to people who reflect your wounds, because your wounds have healed, and healed people don't bleed on what hurt them. That is how you know you are no longer enslaved by the karma of your past. You have evolved. And the universe stops testing those who stop failing the test. 3. You feel peace, even in uncertainty. The final sign is the rarest. It's not in what you gain. It's in what you no longer fear. You no longer panic when things fall apart because you've made peace with impermanence. You no longer chase outcomes because you've anchored yourself in values. Seneca once wrote, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." And now that power lives within you. You no longer resist what life brings, you accept it with calm. Not because you're numb, but because you trust that what's meant for you will not require self-betrayal to keep. You feel peace. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are finally aligned. There's no guilt pulling at your soul, no storm echoing in your conscience. You sleep well. You rise early, you speak less but with more truth. You act less but with more intention, and that stillness, that deep sense that you are no longer repaying a debt, that's the reward when your karmic debt is cleared. The proof is not in the applause, it's in the quiet, the calm, the wisdom. You begin living with clarity. You stop over-explaining, overreacting, overcompensating. You simply walk forward, rooted, steady, unshakable. So if you recognize these signs, if you feel lighter, clearer, calmer, then don't look back. Don't doubt the stillness. You're not being punished anymore. You're being prepared. Your karmic weight has been lifted, and now you are free to rise.